So, Helen Keller.
I do not. I will talk about her for too
This
long.
is a great first episode. What I mean, talking about workouts can get boring, and we'll get to that at some point. But let's just get to the meat and bones of this. Meat and taters.
Meat and taters with
Meat and
Helen
taters
Keller.
is Helen Keller. That is the hot topic.
I can't with this bitch. Okay. What do you want to know about Helen Keller? I actually don't know much about her besides I don't know how the fuck she operated.
She operated very efficiently.
No, I
Yeah,
don't believe it. Who saw it happen?
she didn't.
She did not.
That's for sure.
Okay, okay. No, but for real, I'm just telling you there's no way to like physically operate as a blind and deaf person.
She did. She did.
Did you see it happen?
No, I wasn't born in whenever 1940. Google when she was born. When was she born?
Helen Keller.
It was like 1930s or 40s, I think.
Well, she was born in 1880.
Close enough.
She
1880,
died in
1940.
1921.
Yeah. So she basically lived whenever nobody cared.
She was named a. Wait a second. That's not right. Keller was born June 27th, 1880. Oh, that is right. Date of death. Date of death 1968?
1968, and she was born in 18.
She was 87 years when she died.
So she,
1968 is actually fairly recent.
yeah, that's just a few years
How
ago.
did she live 87 years of just being a
1968.
potato?
1968.
Yeah.
Okay, so we know people who lived during that time.
No, I know. But they didn't. How do you live 87 years as just a walking potato?
She wasn't just a walking potato. She flew a plane.
No, don't even get me going on that.
I'm sure she wrote a book because everybody writes books.
No, she can't.
She discovered a new planet.
Are you just making shit up or did you?
This is legit.
What planet?
Pluto,
That's as illegitimate as she is.
which was later found to not be a planet.
Okay, I'm gonna get canceled for bashing on Helen Keller so much.
Who? Who's going to cancel you?
I don't know. The
Helen
fucking
Keller's granddaughter?
yeah,
Helen Keller's granddaughter, if you're out there,
her
come
family
join us.
lineage of people who are pro Helen Keller. I'm not anti Helen Keller. I
I feel like there's
just
more anti Helen Keller people than there are pro Helen Keller people.
I'm not anti Helen Keller. I just want to know how
You just don't believe
how.
in her. Like she's like Santa Claus.
I think she
Spoiler alert.
existed. I just feel like we are exaggerating. We're making her sound more exotic than she is.
Do you think she just had really bad eyesight, or do you think that she just
I either think she was blind and deaf and we're lying about the things that she accomplished, or she wasn't as blind and deaf as we make it seem.
so like she just had really like she had like trifocals,
Yeah.
and like she was like your grandpa who can't hear very well, or like
Yeah, like
me
she
when
was
like you're on the other
almost
end.
deaf,
Yeah,
Like we're like exaggerating.
yeah. Maybe she just like couldn't pay attention very well. Like whenever we're having a conversation, like you're talking to me, and like I'm always like, "What?"
Yeah, well then we're all Helen Keller.
Yeah,
Anybody with ADHD is
yeah.
Helen Keller.
Basically, yeah. Helen Keller is the first documented ADHD
I'm
person.
probably the next closest thing to Helen Keller because my eyes fucking do suck, actually. I really can't see.
So you do believe in Helen Keller?
I think she existed, yeah. I believe in the fact that she was alive at one point in time. I just want to know, how do you operate for 87 years not being able to hear or see? Like one or the other is fine, but both is like not even a thing. Because like how do you even begin to teach somebody that's blind and deaf something? You know?
Braille.
How do you teach someone braille that can't see or hear?
Smell.
Okay, that's fine, but like they don't know what they're smelling. You can't give them something and be like, this is a leaf. because they can't hear you.
All right, so
By they, I mean Helen Keller.
let's the basic fundamentals of life
Yes.
are
not
food, water, shelter, oxygen.
okay. Yeah.
Oxygen happens. She breathes. She learns how to breathe. Food. So she learns how to eat, and she basically just tries everything on Earth.
Okay.
That people give her for food.
She could eat a tire and wouldn't even fucking know.
Yeah, but nobody's gonna hand her a tire and be like, "Here."
I would probably dabble in that if I knew her.
Her weird shit.
Like, here's some dog shit. She won't ever know.
She's like, that doesn't taste good.
But she wouldn't know how to say that doesn't taste good because she doesn't know words.
Yeah, she probably didn't sound like that when she was talking either.
No, she didn't. Like, she doesn't know words.
I'm not going to try to sound like Helen Keller. That would immediately get us canceled in the first episode.
But no, for real.
Not because she's dead, but because she was deaf.
But for all the reasons. Like, even if
she so, okay, so she tried the food, and she was like, yes, I like it, or no.
Yeah, okay. So she has the capability of knowing whether or not something tastes good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But she doesn't know what tastes good or what doesn't taste good.
She doesn't have to.
But like,
you don't have to know. Like, in reality, like, you don't have to know cake is cake. You just know it tastes good.
Yeah,
and it gives you energy.
Yeah, I don't. That's fine. But like, there's just no way to communicate with her, like, what she's eating. And there's no way for her to communicate whether or not she likes something besides continuing to eat it, I guess.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah, like she sticks her tongue on a dog turd. She's like,
Yeah, she's like, eh. If she doesn't like it, just eh. No, spit it out. Eh. Okay, that means she doesn't like it if she doesn't continue to eat it. But like,
so she knocks that out in like a couple months.
Okay, yeah, I'm not concerned with the food situation. I'm just more concerned with the way, like, literally, how do you learn anything? Like, how do you write a book? Because you can't fucking learn words. You can't learn language.
Smell.
Like, if I was sitting here right now, there's nothing I'm smelling that would, like, make me associate it with a word because you don't have a word to associate it with. Are you finally grasping my argument?
No.
What? What do you mean?
I feel like it's hard for us to comprehend because, like, we don't know what it's like to be blind. We don't know what it's like to be deaf, but we know blind people and deaf people, and we know that their other senses are insane.
Yes, I get that, but
so, like,
I'm not saying that she can't, that she doesn't have, like, supersonic fucking taste and smell. That's not the argument. The argument is that she doesn't have a word bank.
Maybe she has a sixth sense.
I don't even know what that means.
You've never seen the Sixth Sense movie?
No.
With Bruce Willis?
Scary, right?
I mean, yeah, for its time, yeah. Okay. It's the I See Dead People movie.
Oh. Wow. I feel like
You've never seen it?
No. I haven't, but I feel like I should.
The kid's the ghost the whole time. Or Bruce Willis is the ghost the whole time. Not the kid. Bruce Willis is the ghost the whole time. I just ruined the movie for you. You don't have to watch it now.
Okay. I wasn't really listening. I'm still like, my brain. I don't think it comes down to being able to comprehend it. I think it's just like, it's literally not possible.
Maybe Helen Keller is a metaphor.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I can wrap my brain around that.
Yeah. Like, she was created as a life lesson. Like, hey, kids, you might not be able to see very well or hear very well, but you can still fly a plane.
That's a whole nother situation.
What do you mean?
She didn't do that either.
Fly a plane?
Unless it was on autopilot and they just let her sit in the driver's seat to say she did something.
I mean, in reality, if you're flying a plane, there's not much you can hit. Like, you're not going to be hitting very much. You give somebody the steering wheel for 10 seconds.
It's like when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And they let you drive your lawnmower. Yeah. Like, you get to drive the lawnmower through the yard. Like, I did that shit.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool.
Yeah, exactly.
I drove a lawnmower at the age of 3.
3, that's impressive.
So is Helen Keller flying a fucking plane.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
We need to back it up just to, like, okay, so I think about raising Berkeley, right? I think about raising my daughter. Mm-hmm. If the bitch couldn't see or hear, she's literally a potato.
You wouldn't know how to teach her?
You wouldn't be able
I
to.
think you would try to
There's
teach
no
her like
way.
you normally would.
Hmm?
You would try to teach her like you know how, and she would pick it up.
So like I'm thinking if I had a blind or deaf child, no, blind and deaf child, both. They have to be both for this argument to matter. Okay, so yes, Braille. Say we're like, she needs to be able to feel words. Okay, but like, you can't teach her the words that she's feeling to begin with. You know, it's one thing if like they have a baseline of like words in their brain before they go deaf,
Mm-hmm.
then there's like some sort of knowledge to like build on. But like, we're starting from scratch. This bitch, she don't know anything ever.
She knew a lot of things.
Supposedly, yes. But I'm trying to figure out how to get someone to that point if she truly actually did what she did.
Maybe she was a genius and she knew more than we do, and she
Well,
could see in other dimensions.
based on what is said about her, she is very much more accomplishing than I'll ever be. But
You're never flying a plane.
I'm never, no, never doing that. I don't even think I'm like legally allowed. Like I can't, I like don't even, I'm not even supposed to drive at night. So I don't think they'd let me behind a plane. Behind a plane wheel. Is it a wheel?
Yeah, sure.
Behind the plane electronics.
It's a joystick.
Oh, joystick. Yes, yes, yes.
It's not a joystick.
The video game joystick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not even supposed to be driving past like 9 p.m. So I don't think they would. I don't know if 9 p.m. is the cutoff. Just dark. I'm not supposed to drive at dark time. I've never disclosed that to you.
Fair enough.
Oh, but I can, but I can hear, so I'm good.
Yeah, yeah, you're all right. If you need to hear anything at night, you're all right.
I just will never fully be able to comprehend her existence.
It's like Jesus.
Oh no, we can't go religious.
Why?
Are you debating that?
Debating what?
His
Whether Jesus
existence?
is was real?
Yeah.
Jesus was real. It's documented. He was an actual person.
Okay, so you're not like questioning.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's good.
I think the lessons in the Bible that revolve around Jesus can be looked for as metaphorical. I'm not saying that's the case. I'm not saying that's what I believe.
Got you.
What was the lesson we learned with Q like 2 weeks ago?
I can tell you in
One
two
of the guys
seconds.
that Jesus healed,
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I forget his
he
name.
was basically giving up on life, and
Yeah.
Jesus was like, stand up,
Mhm.
and he stood up.
Mhm.
Maybe that was it. Helping the guy walk, the cripple walk.
Yes, he was. It was crippled,
Yeah, so like looking at that from a
or just
medical,
really sick, right?
yeah, something like he was just basically giving up on life, and Jesus basically like
He
the
wanted to be
Bible said,
healed. He had been sick for a really long time.
yeah, Jesus like stand up.
Hmm.
I think from a medical metaphorical standpoint, it can be looked at as like stop loathing in your sorrow,
Hmm.
just get up and move. But on that, I think that's what makes like Christianity and the story of Jesus that much more powerful because it can be looked at metaphorically, but even more so like if it were true, like if the stories are true, like yeah, like that's like there's some miracles.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think and I think that's like what the entirety of faith is, you know? Like believing in something that is like incomprehensible
Mm-hmm.
and that we physically can't wrap our brains around. Like me not being able to wrap my brain around Helen
Helen Keller.
Keller.
So you think Helen Keller
It's
is a
all
religion?
kind of no, no. Um, but no, I think at the end of the day, like everybody's take on religion, like a lot of people who don't believe in everything that happened in the Bible or just like literally even to the creation of humanity, I think it's because people underestimate like the power and underestimate faith in what they can't see or wrap their brains around. And that's what makes religion religion.
How do you think the universe started?
I don't really know the timeline. I don't have knowledge behind like the timeline
You
of.
weren't there?
No,
Helen Keller was.
Helen Keller did it.
What if you die and you go to the pearly gates and you're walking up the steps and you're getting ready to meet um who's the guy at the
I don't think.
who's the guy at the gates?
What do you mean?
It's not Jesus. Like the Bible says somebody is at the gates. I forgot who it is. Like heaven's gates. Kevin Gates.
I don't think it happens like that.
Well, all that aside, what if you get to the pearly gates and instead of whoever is supposed to be standing there, it's Helen Keller. And she's like, "Gotcha, bitch. I was real the whole time."
I guess I don't know. I'd be like, okay, can I come in?
She's like, "You didn't believe. No."
No, that would be all the more reason for me to make my way into heaven because I didn't believe in.
You didn't believe in Helen Keller, so you're going straight to hell.
That has nothing to do with me going into heaven. She won't be there.
If it was the heaven for the religion of Helen Keller,
I want to go there.
Helen Kellerology.
Sounds like it'd be really quiet and boring.
Just black and
I don't want to.
quiet.
I don't want to go there. Be real dark and quiet.
Oh, that's
that would be my hell. That would be my version of hell.
Something I want to bring up. So I forgot where I heard it, but blind people don't see black. Like when you think of like blind people can't see anything.
I've heard that too.
They don't
like,
see black.
It's not like how we see our eyelids.
Yeah.
What do they see?
I don't know. Nothing.
What is nothing? White?
The opposite of everything.
What do they for real see though? Like I have heard that too.
I have no idea.
Because if blind people's eyes are open, yeah? Or does it depend?
Some people, yeah.
I guess I never know.
Yeah, I guess they are, yeah.
They are, yeah.
Yeah. Or like, what would you see if you didn't have eyes? We keep saying, what would you see? But in reality, you're not seeing anything.
No, I know, but like, that is a good point. Well, like, how do we know they don't see black? They don't know what black is. You know what I mean, though? If you like ask a person, like, okay, what do you see? And they say nothing. And we're like, okay, so like, is it dark? And they're like, what's dark? You know, though?
Yeah.
Or is it light? I don't know what that is either. Or is it red?
Could be red.
I don't know red.
Yeah.
But they don't know red.
True.
So there's no way for them to know.
Maybe they see a color that we've never seen before.
That's fine, but they would never be able to tell us like what it is.
Exactly. So our brains can't comprehend it.
Right. So like what I'm saying is, how do we know they don't see black?
How do we know they don't see white?
I don't know what they see.
I don't know either. Do you know any blind people?
I just don't know how they would even like begin to explain what they don't see.
I feel like I know a blind person.
We've got to know, yeah, at least one.
Yeah. Let's Facebook it. Let's put up a Facebook post and see who reads it.
Put it on Braille. Can you post Braille?
Braille book?
Yeah, but for real, I have heard that, and I want to just think that it's like a really blurry, you know, like it's literally just like the most blurry you can ever imagine.
So just like really bad eyesight.
Yeah, but like I'm talking everything is just like blended into one. Like it's just like
You know what I'm trying to do?
kind of like this.
Yeah, you're like trying to make your eyesight look bad. What if that's what they see?
Yeah, but like I can still see what the fuck's happening. The next thing to me not being able to see what's going on is my eyes shut.
So somewhere between that and your eyes shut is what they see.
But that's what I'm thinking. You know how like it gets really blurry the closer you get to being shut? That, but like way blurry. That sounded like I was like stoned there.
That, but like way blurry.
That, but like way more, dude. Okay. What
Oh,
can our next topic be that's not Helen
I
Keller?
don't know. It needs to be a good one. I think this is the banger right here.
Should we be serious?
Yeah, let's be serious. This is the banger.
It's gonna be stupid, I can already tell.
I don't know. I don't have anything in mind.
Oh,
I'm gonna put some more wood in the fire.
okay.
All right. So you have a lot of stuff going on,
I have a lot of stuff going on, yeah.
which involves you leveling up, but also involves you doubting things. So I think we should talk about what happens when you're leveling up in life and what goes through your brain. Let's start with
I
this.
don't think we want to know what goes through.
No, because we would all have melted faces like Indiana
Yeah,
Jones.
you really would.
Tell everybody what's going on. What are you doing?
Okay, so what am I not doing? That would be a shorter list.
Sure.
No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. I am a mom to an 18-month-old little girl, which keeps me on my toes. I work at a med spa part time currently for a couple more weeks. I am a business owner and I'm in my first prep for a bodybuilding show in less than 2 months. What else do I do? Content creation, obviously.
Yeah.
Um,
You're gonna learn how to do tattoos.
I mean, yeah, that would be like my business though, just growing my business. And I think in every aspect of growing, whether it be business, a following, leveling up just in general, always comes with doubt. I think that's like step one. Or fear, I guess, could also be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They probably go hand in
Yeah,
hand.
I'm sure there's like multiple things to go through your head.
Yeah, I think what's crazy about it is that when you're leveling up is such a positive thing, but I think all of the initial thoughts are negative, which is weird. It's a very like contradicting thing because you're going places and you're doing things, you're moving in the right direction, but all of the thoughts that come with that are negative, which
Mm-hmm.
is weird. Um I think for me a lot of it is doubt, like doubting if it'll work, if you're making the right decisions. Obviously for me, like in my daughter, like will I be able to provide doing what I like to do? Am I wasting my time? A lot of doubt is probably the biggest thing when it comes to like headspace and leveling up.
Yeah, which I think is understandable. There's a lot of fear that comes into it. Like you said, wondering how you're going to provide, wondering, if somebody's starting their own business that's like a service type business, like wondering how you're going to fill your schedule.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of business owners would say, a lot of that stuff you learn by just like doing it.
Mhm.
And the more time you give yourself to learn those things, the better you're going to get at it. So, in turn, that leads to you having to drop other things that you have going on. To allocate more time into your business, you have to drop the things that you can
Mhm.
to give yourself that time. And you've been doing that. And I think there's, I think the doubt is, I think the doubt can be good in some scenarios because once you look back on it and you remember that you doubted yourself, once it starts happening again, you can be like, okay, I know this stage.
Mhm.
I know what's about to happen. And then you can kind of tighten the bolts and understand, like, all right, I'm about to do something new.
Mhm. Yeah, I think the doubt also, not I don't think doubt is necessarily like real doubt, like if I'm doubting whether or not it's going to make it, right? Like I don't think like I'm actually going to fail because I'm the type of person where like I just truly won't
You
allow
figure it
it.
out.
Huh?
where you'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
on
yeah.
these.
I'm like everything is figure outable.
Figure outable.
Figure outable. You just figure it the frick out. Um, it's just more so. I think the doubt just comes from a headspace of wanting to do it, but do it good. Like I always hold myself to a really high standard, and I mean anybody can do it, but like not everybody can do it good, and especially in like the industry that I'm in both content creation and permanent makeup and aesthetics, like all very booming industries, right? So like you have to do something, you have to be something that like sets you apart from other people. Um and I think just like making sure that I am that and that I like provide a space in every aspect of my life that allows me to like succeed because I want to be better than other people at what I do. But I think that's more so where the doubt comes from. Like not can I do it, but like can I do it good?
So do you think that your mindset of that type of mindset, like where you're competitive, you want to be the best at everything you do you think that is what people who are successful with their startup businesses and their small businesses, do you think they all kind of have that
I th-
mindset?
I think you have to have that mindset.
So, okay, so building off of that, do you think that that's something that can be learned? Or do you think that that's something that you either have it or you don't?
I think you either have it or you don't. Do you agree?
I think in most scenarios, yeah. But I think that there are people who hit certain points in their life or they just go through hell and they kind of get snapped into it. Like if somebody's like, you know, early 20s, mid 20s, and like their entire family dies in like a tragic accident, and like they're like, okay, shit, like I got to figure this out.
Right, but I think that's like it's still something that you have, right? Like because two people can go through the exact same tragedy and some people crumble and some people don't.
Sure.
So I think you could literally deal two people the exact same hand and they'll play it completely differently. So I think it ultimately comes down to like truly whether or not you have it because not all people will run with something that can make them better. I read like an analogy regarding to that, but now I don't know it. Now I can't think of it.
Make one up.
Um I think it was something along the lines of like it had something to do with like faith in God and it was like God can literally give you all the ingredients to make a recipe and still like people can still
Make
either
a,
not make it or
yeah,
mess it up or I don't remember what the
yeah.
analogy was. But like I think that's true in a lot of scenarios like and it can go and it can be looked at from like either perspective. I mean, I know a ton of people who walk into family businesses and somehow find a way to mess it up,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And I think obviously those are the people that don't have it. But I also know people that have literally built stuff from the ground up because they were faced with tragedy or they were like literally back against the wall. Like,
Yeah.
I have to do something. Like, but again, like, that's not everybody. Like, a lot of people succumb to that and fail because they don't have it in them to, or the drive in them.
Yeah. Okay, this is gonna sound random. So let's use burgers as an example,
Like
like
hamburgers.
a hamburger.
Okay.
Do you think that there's like a restaurant out there that has like the best hamburger, like nationwide? They're like top dog.
Red Robin.
Okay, fair enough. Red Robin.
No, I'm just kidding.
Do you think that there's like a number three or four or five? Like, do you have like a
Like, can I rank?
sure?
Like,
Yeah.
no.
Like, you don't think that they're like, okay, so let's take Red Robin, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
Okay.
What do
Yeah,
you
yeah.
think is one out of those?
I would say Red Robin out of those.
So what do you think is fourth?
You're just saying once somebody's subpar, they're just subpar.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
because I think like after
Answer the question.
I don't think I could number them.
Okay, Red Robin is one. What's two?
What were my options?
McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King.
You're asking someone who literally has never like really eaten any fast food ever, but okay, I'm gonna say McDonald's is probably second because that's the only next thing I've tried,
Okay.
and then Burger King, then Wendy's.
Wendy's is fourth.
But if
Okay.
you ask
So
about chicken sandwiches, I'll tell you Burger King's the best.
let's not dive into that because we'll be here for another 2 hours. Okay. So you said Burger King is fourth. Now
No, Wendy's is
Wendy's is
fourth.
fourth. I want to go back to your analogy about the ingredients because I think I am putting together what you were trying to say, but I want to add to it and see if it was part of it too. So everybody can be given the ingredients, and or you have people who are given the ingredients to do something.
Mhm.
Um, and people can either, you have the ingredients for a cake.
Mhm.
People can either make the cake, or they make a shitty cake, or they don't make the cake.
Mhm.
Now, so you're saying people are either going to make it or they're not going to make it.
Mhm.
Now, there's people who make a shitty one.
Mhm.
They could be making the worst cake if there's like four. So let's consider Red Robin's, McDonald's, Wendy's, and Burger King are the only four burger places.
Mhm.
Wendy's is the worst, but they still got the ingredients, and they're still Wendy's.
Yeah.
They're still successful for them, like for what they believe in, what they believe is the best burger. So what I'm trying to get to is five people can have the ingredients. One person makes the best. One person doesn't know how to make it,
Mhm.
but the other people can make some type of cake and make it work for themselves.
Yeah.
And they can still thrive.
Yeah.
They can still make a successful business. It's just not Red Robin.
Right. And you want to know why? Because I just listened to a podcast about this. It's because the world is abundant and there's enough everything to go around. And everybody is so much different. So, like, just because I think Red Robin's the best doesn't mean it's actually the best. You could think Wendy's is the best. It's because everybody has their thing. Like, the world is literally abundant when it comes to success.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's room for everybody to succeed. And I think that so many people get caught up in this, like, scarcity mindset rather than
Yeah.
seeing the world as abundant when it comes to like resources and wealth, success, peace, like literally everything. So that's why they're all successful even though they all do the same thing is because
They don't quit.
they don't quit. Yeah, they keep going and because there's people out there for everybody. Like
Yeah.
and I think that's huge too, especially in like permanent makeup, content creation. I mean literally everything, food, whatever you want to
Mm-hmm.
compare it to. But somebody that likes my work might not like somebody else's work,
Yeah.
or they like both of us and support us in different ways.
Yep.
Um, I think about that with content creation. Like you don't just follow one person. It's really big for people to kind of and I didn't even realize that I was like that I had such a like scarcity mindset until I listened to this podcast because I was like you think about being in an industry where it seems so saturated and you're like, well, I'm never going to make it because I could throw a rock and hit the next permanent makeup artist.
Mm-hmm.
And you get scared that that's going to affect your business. But in reality, like, there's thousands and thousands of people waiting to get their face tattooed. Not waiting. They're probably not just sitting around like, I can't wait to get my face tattooed. But, you know what I mean? Like, and everybody's going to be drawn to you for like what you do and who you are. And other people are going to go to other people for what they do and who they are. Like,
Yeah.
there's like enough to go around of everything. And another like point in that podcast that I truly can't get out of my brain. Like I can't stop like hearing this, but it's like in the game of life, you're never like against people. I think I told you this the other day, but
Mm-hmm.
like you're not against people. Like when you ask somebody like if you want to play cards, you don't say like, "Hey, do you want to play cards against me?" You say, "Do you want to play cards with me?" Like, "Hey, do you want to play cards with me?" That'd be weird if I walked up and be like, "I want to play against you." I think people do sometimes probably say that actually.
In
But
cards, maybe
but
like a
like,
lightsaber duel or something.
huh?
I want a lightsaber duel against you.
Yeah, I mean, you can like, you want to fight against me? I feel like still though, people say with a lot, you
Yeah.
know? Like when you're talking about like competition, you're doing it with somebody. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, there's enough there's enough to go around in that episode, like in particular, it was talking about cards and like being dealt cards, and I think this comes down to everybody making it or not making it. Like when we're dealt cards, like truly there is such thing as like just getting dealt a shitty hand. Like life is
Yeah.
very similar to the analogy of just like a game of cards, and we can't control that. Like we can't control what happens. We can't control the cards we're dealt, but like I don't base my moves on what your cards are. I can't
Yeah.
see your cards.
Right.
What I have in my hand is the only thing that determines my move. So, I think like the biggest thing is just understanding that you don't make moves based on what other people have in their hands or what other people are doing with their cards. You're finding out, you're trying to be strategic about how to play your own cards and how to make the best of what you've got.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that analogy is just so fun to me. Like I love it. I feel like it just puts a whole new perspective on like, especially like right now with me trying to build a business and like in an industry that's booming, like can I make it? And it's like, why am I worrying about that? Like why am I not just focused on being the best I can be at what I do
Yeah.
and letting it happen and
Yeah.
like trusting that it'll work out.
Talking about being dealt hands and you play Quidditch. Is that what it's called?
What did you just call it?
Quidditch? Quidditch?
Do you have a speech impediment?
What is it called?
Cribbage.
Cribbage. Cribbage.
Quibbage.
Quibbage. Cribbage.
Cribbage.
Yeah.
Yes.
You play cribbage with your dad and your grandfather a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to learn. Um but you guys are like so quick with the hands.
Yeah.
And I don't think you necessarily like you're not trying to play off of the other person's hands. You're trying to play off of your hands, like you
Mm-hmm.
said.
Mm-hmm.
But the hands move so quickly that like you have to. Sometimes you have to decide.
Mm-hmm.
You have to decide to do like make your move and go.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important too. Is like yeah, there might be like that window to like plan or think or like wonder or try to figure things out, but there comes a point where you have to just like put your foot down and go and do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think especially in if we're like using that game like for example, or if we're using cribbage as the analogy in this
It's called
situation,
quibbage.
cribbage. um, I think that is like kind of a big deal, and I actually just like went through that with recent life decisions and trying to decide like, okay, what do I want my next step to be, and I was stuck so long because I didn't want to make the wrong move, and I think that's honestly the worst thing you can do is like worrying too much about making the wrong move that you don't make any move
Mm-hmm.
rather than just like making a move, kind of like watching it play out and then dealing with it as it comes.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I'm like a firm believer in like there's nothing like bad happening to you. I mean, it's either a lesson or it works out,
Yeah.
right? If it doesn't work out, it's like, okay, what can I learn from this? And how can I maybe not put myself in that situation again? Or just like learning as you go. Because in cards, obviously, like, yes, you're making decisions quickly, and there's not a time where you're like, oh, I need to take that back because you can't,
Yeah.
right? So you then just have to like figure it out. Like, okay, so now I know that they have XYZ, so maybe I need to not play that again. So it's just literally learning, or you just like take the loss and you're like, All right, cool.
Yeah,
Like, let's figure
yeah,
it
you get
out.
past it, and it's like dominoes. Like you lay down the domino, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, like you still got to move on
Yeah.
and go
And
to the
you
next
reset
one.
it and you figure it out.
Yeah,
I think that is huge because I tend to hyperfixate on like what could go wrong. And I think that's a very like negative thing to do because again, it keeps you stuck because you're so worried about making the wrong move.
yeah, and there's always a million things that can go wrong.
Yeah, there's a million things that could go wrong, but there's also a million things that could go right. So
Hmm.
it I think like it all everything always comes down to just mindset at the end of the day and just like how you like the outlook you have on it because at the end of the day, like once you make that move, it's a step in the right direction, but also you end up having like a whole new set of problems that like you actually like should be thankful to have. Like they're a set of problems that like you want to have.
Yep.
Because if you wouldn't move, you would just always be having the same problems and not get anywhere. So like evolving in your problems is healthy too. I think it all just comes down to taking it as it comes and learning as you go. I mean, honestly.
You know who else evolved around her problems? Helen Keller.
She was a walking problem. She is the problem.
Okay, I think that's a good one.
Do you think that was a good
I
episode?
think that was a good one. Yeah, that was probably what time was it? That was probably a 30-minute episode.
I'm hungry.
9:50. That was a 50-minute episode.
No,
Jesus Christ, we're
no
going like
way.
Joe Rogan status here. He has like 20-hour episodes.
Watch out, Joe Rogan.
Watch out, Joe Rogan. We got our guy behind the camera too. Thanks for googling that for us, Taylor.
Are coming for
Yeah.
you.
If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe and like wherever the buttons are down there. Comment. Tell us we're stupid. Tell us we're not funny.
Give us ideas to talk about.
Give us ideas to talk about and let us know what you think about Helen Keller. And that'll be it. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll be doing more of these. Yeah, did you have fun?
So much fun.
Yeah, we'll start lighting some fires and
Yeah.
talking. Okay, bye.
Bye.